The Galactic Council chamber fell into an uneasy hush as Ambassador Elsa stepped onto the crystalline platform. Around her, representatives from 300 species watched with barely concealed contempt. Humans had been part of the council for barely 2 decades. Newcomers. Primitives who had stumbled into faster-than-light travel through luck rather than ingenuity. Commander Farhat stood in the shadows of the human delegation, his weathered face impassive as the Velcron Prime Minister's tentacles writhed in agitation. "The motion stands," the Prime Minister announced, his translation device crackling. "Humanity will surrender 70% of its fleet. The Sol system will accept permanent monitoring stations. These terms are non-negotiable." Elsa's smile never wavered, though Farhat noticed her fingers tightening around the data chip in her hand. They had anticipated this. For months, the Council had been maneuvering, testing humanity's resolve, pushing boundaries. The excuse was always the same. Humans were too aggressive, too unpredictable, too dangerous to possess unrestricted military capabilities. "Honorable members," Elsa began, her voice carrying across the vast chamber with perfect clarity. "We acknowledge the Council's concerns. Humanity understands that we are, as you say, newcomers to this grand alliance." Farhat watched the alien representatives relax slightly. They expected capitulation. They always did. However, Elsa continued, her tone shifting almost imperceptibly. "Before we discuss the terms of our production, we believe the Council should be fully informed about humanity's current defensive capabilities." She inserted the data chip into the podium. The chamber's holographic projectors flickered to life. The image that materialized above them was of empty space, an unremarkable sector between the Orion and Perseus arms. Council members exchanged confused glances. Several began murmuring dismissively. "What you're observing," Elsa said calmly, "is Sector 447 Alpha. According to all known scanning technologies, including Velcron gravitational sensors, Thresh quantum detection arrays, and even the legendary Architect phase shift analyzers, this sector is empty, uninhabited, unremarkable." The Velcron Prime Minister's tentacles coiled in irritation. "Is this some primitive attempt at humor?" "We have no time for computer," Elsa interrupted smoothly. "Activate human revelation protocol." Farhat allowed himself the ghost of a smile as the chamber erupted into chaos. The empty space began to shimmer. Then, like a cosmic curtain being drawn back, ships appeared. Not dozens. Not hundreds. Thousands upon thousands of vessels materialized from absolute nothing, their forms sleek and angular, radiating a faint purple luminescence that seemed to bend light itself around their hulls. The dark matter fleet, humanity's ghost armada. A Thresh delegate's respirator failed, causing emergency protocols to engage. The Architect observer, a being who had witnessed the birth of stars, leaned forward with something that might have been fascination or terror. It was difficult to tell with their species. "For the past 15 years, Elsa continued as if discussing the weather, "while humanity smiled and nodded and played the role of eager students in your great galactic classroom, our scientists were solving a problem. You see, we couldn't understand why dark matter, which comprises 85% of the universe's mass, was considered undetectable, untouchable, unusable." She paused, letting her words sink in. It seemed wasteful. Farhat stepped forward, his military bearing now radiating quiet menace. "What you're seeing are ships constructed from stabilized dark matter matrices. They exist in a state of quantum flux, observable only when we choose to make them so. They generate no heat signature, no gravitational distortion, no electromagnetic radiation. To every scanner in the known galaxy, they simply don't exist." The hologram zoomed in on a single vessel. It was massive, easily 10 times the size of the Velcron Empire's largest dreadnought. Weapon ports lined its hull like the scales of some deep-sea predator. "Each ship," Farhat continued, "is powered by dark energy reactors, drawing from the same force that's causing the universe's expansion. Essentially unlimited power. Their weapons utilize focused dark matter streams that can pass through conventional shields as if they weren't there. The projectiles interact with normal matter only at the moment of our choosing." The Velcron Prime Minister had gone very still. How many?" Elsa's smile widened slightly. "In this sector? 12,000 vessels. But then we've had 15 years and an entire galaxy to hide them in. We've been very busy." She advanced the hologram, Another sector appeared, then another and another. Each one, upon activation of the Revelation Protocol, blossomed with thousands of ghost ships. The mathematical implications were staggering. The estimate your intelligence services provided the Council, Elsa said, her voice taking on an edge, suggested humanity possessed perhaps 200 military vessels. You weren't entirely wrong. Those are the ships we wanted you to see. Our conventional fleet bound by treaties and regulations. She gestured to the holographic armada surrounding them. This is the fleet you never saw. The one that's been watching every council world, every military installation, every diplomatic summit for the past decade, including this one. A smaller display activated, showing a real-time image of the council chamber from outside, filmed by an invisible ship hovering mere kilometers away. The silence that followed was absolute. It was the silence of predators realizing they had been prey all along. The silence of ancient empires confronting an obsolescence they hadn't seen coming. The architect observer spoke, their voice resonating with harmonics that bypassed translation. This is unprecedented. The technological leap required is... It should have taken centuries. Farad allowed himself a genuine smile now. Humanity has a saying, necessity is the mother of invention. When we realized we were entering a galaxy that viewed us as children to be controlled, we became motivated. Elsa deactivated the hologram, and the ghost fleet vanished once more, returning to its state of invisible vigilance. Now then, honored council members, shall we revisit the terms of your proposal? I believe you mentioned something about humanity surrendering 70% of our fleet. No one answered. The power dynamic had shifted so completely, so suddenly, that the ancient political minds of the council were still struggling to adjust. Alternatively, Elsa continued, her voice softening, humanity proposes a different arrangement. We remain equal partners in the Galactic Council, unmonitored, unrestricted, and respected. In return, we continue to do what we've been doing, watching the borders, maintaining peace, and protecting this galaxy from external threats. She let the implication hang in the air. Humanity had possessed the power to conquer the entire council for years, yet had chosen restraint. We don't want to rule you, Farad added quietly. We never did. We just refused to be ruled. The Velcron Prime Minister's tentacles trembled. This changes everything. Yes, Elsa agreed, it does. The question is, do we move forward as equals, or do we continue this dance where you test our patience until we're forced to remind you, again, why underestimating humanity is a mistake? The vote, when it came an hour later, was unanimous. Humanity's fleet, both seen and unseen, would remain under human control. Monitoring stations were indefinitely postponed. The terms of engagement were rewritten. As Elsa and Farad left the chamber, she whispered, "Do you think they'll try again?" Farad glanced back at the council members, still reeling from the revelation. Some will. Empires don't learn easily, but they'll remember this day. Above them, invisible to all sensors, the dark matter fleet maintained its eternal vigil, humanity's dark guardian, the galaxy's greatest secret, now a secret, no more. The message was clear. Humanity had arrived and they would not be moved.